live on Twitter and YouTube. So, welcome to everyone who's watching or who may be watching in the future, because I know the videos get recorded on the podcast. We have a very special guest today, Mr. Suren Arora. He is an author, astrologer, holistic healer, and he helps many people master rel- like their relationships and achieve emotional fitness. So this is very interesting. We have a very interesting guest here. Welcome, Suren. How are you doing?
Oh, thank you very much. I'm doing I'm doing well, and I hope everyone who's watching or everyone who's not watching is also enjoying the life. For those who it matters, this is a day to say Eid Mubarak. So
Yes. Eid Mubarak to everyone.
Eid Mubarak to everyone. Yeah, that is important. And I was just talking to one of my, I would say, contacts, and I was telling him that Eid is not a ritual. Eid is not like Diwali that you get up, you burn some crackers, or if you go out and hug somebody. That is not Eid. You need to have that mindset. You need to open up. Your arms should be spread. You should be reaching people whom you have not met for a while, or you should be reaching people with whom you are carrying a grudge or maybe something else. Right? So,
Yeah, that is true, and it's powerful, and there is a process before Eid, so you earn it also,
yes.
right?
I mean, if you are not reaching a stranger, so let's say if I get up and I say Eid Mubarak to my family or the near and dear ones or the friends with whom I meet every day, then there is no point. Then that is not Eid. Eid is about a stranger. Eid is about somebody who is annoyed with you. Eid is about like somebody who has forgotten you, or maybe you have forgotten.
True,
To
very true.
to those who understand maybe Hindi or a little bit of Punjabi, they say Eid ona jina deed sajandi, bina deedo Eid na kahi. So, which means that Eid is for them who have their loved ones around them, because without the loved ones there is no Eid, right? So there is a very philosophical, or there is a very practical idea of creating these festivals, whether it is Diwali or so. I mean, in my mind, you have to reach people who you don't reach otherwise. Then it is a festival.
Makes sense. Powerful pointer.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Suren, I was wondering if you can give our audience an introduction, because not every day that I meet somebody who's. So can you tell us, you know, uh, a little bit of a life story or a snapshot of how you've come to this stage so far?
See, basically what happens is, in most of the cases, not in all the cases, but most of the cases. So sometimes what happens is, you have come out of your secondary school and then you have chosen a stream. Like, let's say you want to become an engineer, so you studied engineering. You wanted to be a doctor, so you studied medicine. Somebody wanted to go for HR and they studied HR. In professions like mine, like a painter or a poet or a person like me, if you ask them what got you into it, the one word answer is life. Life gets you into it. The life demands you. Does life have a certain agenda? The life doesn't want you to just earn, pay your bills, and live. Life wants you to learn. Life wants you to suffer, because without suffering, there is no learning. So there has to be somebody who is willing to suffer. There is you can learn academics through the books. You can learn others' experiences from YouTube or Google and all that stuff.
True.
But your own learning has to come from suffering. But life does not allow everyone to suffer,
Hmm.
and everyone is not even ready to suffer. So, if somebody asks me got me into it? I'll say life. Life got me. I had no plans. When you are 10 years old or 7 years old, most of us don't know what we'll become. I am from an age group where I think my age group people even didn't know like what will they do after school or after the graduation, and like all that we knew was that we'll finish the graduation and then start looking for job, any job that comes in our way. There are
And so when you
people
what
who
did you study? What did you study, and when you finished graduation, what happened? And can you just walk us through the story?
see. I did my graduation in economics, whereas those 3 years are concerned. Then I also learned psychology, and in school I was learning commerce. Right? But then after that, one of the few things like you have introduced me as an astrologer or a healer or few other words. I am also a hypnotist. I do hypnotize people for different reasons. So I do a lot of behavioral therapies like NLP or CBT, people who have personality issues. But in few words, if I am asked to say, what do I do? So there are two parts of me. One is the astrology, which is about luck, events that are beyond us. So the air I am breathing is beyond me. The water I am drinking is beyond me. My liver, my kidneys, they are all beyond me. I can't fix them or I can't have them. So good 80 or 90% of the life is uh, what we call destined or is fixed by the external issues, which is called, which is covered in astrology. But then there is a 10% which is called action or behavior, so which you can correct. But then you can only correct behavior to an extent. Let's not forget that our behavior also or our mindset also is decided by our DNA or our genes. So that we have not developed. That has come from our parents or DNA. So that also has been how much we have excelled into it, how much have we added into it. So, like let's say, my father at the time of his death leaves me with let's say 50,000 bucks. So I have
Hmm.
that with me. Now, whether I increase it or I spend it and bring it to zero is something
Makes
that I
sense.
have to decide. Right. Same way, the life has given you a set and certain things to go. Whether you add or not add is something that you have to decide.
So what you mean to say is, in terms of what you do, astrology is talking about the things outside your control, and hypnosis is something that is within your realm of control. Is that what
Now,
am I
see,
understanding
there's
that
other
correctly?
behavioral therapies. Like hypnosis is not the only thing. So something is that you have inherited. Then there is something which is in within your control. So those therapies are what you decide. Like for which
So
reason.
now I'm curious about one thing. You said you mentioned that you were in economics and you had graduated, and then psychology, and then and now you're working in this field. How did you change? Like, what happened? And
Again, I am not ready to take the blame that I changed it. Again, the culprit is life, right?
so what were the life events that led you to your current situation?
So, like if you talk about like as I said, in our times, you have to go back in our times. In our times, there were only three streams. One was art, the second was commerce, the third was science. Science were only meant for those who were acquiring good amount of marks and who were excellent in mathematics. Now, I
Yes.
as a I as a child, I was very poor in chemistry, especially.
Okay.
So science was not for me. I mean, school would not give me an opportunity to learn science or maths or something. Then the second was the commerce, where you could, the maths was there in the commerce, but then the sciences were not there. You know, like those chemical issues were not there. C2 plus 3 2 plus whatever are
Yeah.
there in chemistry. So I was more comfortable in that, and my marks were eligible to get into the. If I had lower marks, I would have been thrown into the arts.
But
Arts was considered to be like you're good for nothing. Then you read history or you read subjects like that. But then I was a mediocre kind of a child, whereas education was concerned. So I was pushed into the commerce. So after the school, depending upon the marks, again, like you get whatever is, like you can't make a choice. Even today, you can't decide the college that you want to study in. It all depends on your previous performance. So my
so when you
previous,
entered commerce, so when you entered, sorry to cut you off, but when you entered commerce and you studied, and then you went to economics and then psychology, from there, and now you're in a different field, how did you get in that field then?
so,
Shouldn't you be an accountant or I don't know,
no, no,
something like that?
if I had to become an accountant, I think I would have rather become a drunken person or maybe drug addict or something like that. Because that was not something meant for me. I was just lucky enough to find what am I fit for. Right. Whereas studies is concerned, I have studied interior designing. I have studied law. I have studied mortgage. I have learned a lot of like instruments to play with. So I learned swimming. I often do skydiving. I do archery. I do a lot of stuff for that matter. But then you get to know what you are meant for. Like take the example of mortgage. I would have done better money wise in mortgage. But then mortgage is not something that comes from the core. It can come from the head. It can come from the throat. It can come from anywhere, but not from the core.
When did you get exposed to your current field that you are in? And how did you discover that this is what you were meant to do? Like, what was the initial spark? How did you discover it? How did you get exposed to it? Tell us more over that.
So basically, what happens is when these kind of things, like ask a poet, when did you think that you were become a poet? Or ask a singer, when did you start? What got you into singing? You don't know. It's a call from somewhere else, right? It's like you, like let's say you are a soldier and you get a call from your head office or defense headquarters. Okay, go and report there, and then you go and report there. If somebody asks you what brought you here, nothing, man, a letter from my defense headquarters.
So, when you initially started working with people in this field, what was the journey like? Was it very difficult in the beginning, or did it just come naturally to you, or did you have to go through some training to learn the skill set? And
No trainings. Difficult, no. Again, like anything which is coming from your core will never be difficult for you. Money is concerned, it is always ups and downs. It comes, it doesn't come. But then the idea is you enjoy what you are doing. So that allows you to do what you do.
got it. And when you start working with people, I mean, after you worked with so many people, so you may have gotten an idea of you know what attributes um, some people have, and you know that they will get the benefits and they will succeed in their journey, versus some people maybe who come on your program and they try things but maybe they fall off, or they don't follow through. What have you seen? What trends have you seen?
So let's understand that. One is every each person that comes to me, what I know and what I understand is that each person is unique and is totally different from the other ones that come to me. So there are no categories of people. Secondly, like as this example that I have given you a few times, a person who sings or who writes, if you are writing for the audience, you can't write. If you're singing for the audience, what kind of audience I have? Once you become a professional one, then you are no more blessed. If you come to me, like let's say you are talking to me about yourself, and then I start like in the back of my mind, I start thinking that oh, Marshall is like this, Marshall is like that, or he is from this background. If that is what is happening to me, I will never be able to connect with you. If you have come to me, I'll have to forget who you are, what background is it. I also have to forget who I am. We have to gel. Like, let's not forget that you are, like, let's say you have come to me, you are you in that particular moment. And let's say we have spent 40 minutes with one another. After 40 minutes, you will be a changed person. You won't be the same. If we have a
That
40
is
minute
very true.
session, in the first 10 minutes, you will be a different person. In between, you will be a different person. And then while you are planning to leave me, you will be a different person. So I have to connect with all these personalities at that moment. You are not a Samsung TV. You are not a piece of furniture that, oh, this chair is like that. And even if I come and look at it tomorrow, it is going to remain the same. No.
That is a very good nugget that you said because my mentor tells me the number one thing about success or anything that you want to do is connecting with the other person. Can you tell us more about you talked about one thing that you do, you forget about who you are to connect with them. How else have you connected with people who you're talking to?
See, basically, what happens is, first of all, if I have to connect with person, the first responsibility is mine. I have to go beyond what I think, what I believe, what is good for me. I have to be a person like I have to be a water. Then only I can be mixed with alcohol or milk or tea or whatever you may say. So there is no other better way to explain than this that I have to be water. I have to gel. Like let's say if I'm talking to you, I can't be judgmental. I can't even reach any analysis or anything like that. Even after I talk to you for 1 hour, I can't comment on who you are or how you are because you are a living being. A living being cannot be defined in words. And even if whatever you are, like whatever I have experienced out of you, is a very momentary thing or an experience. We can't judge a person by spending few minutes or even few years. So let's say
This is very good because operating at a energy level the way you are operating is so different compared to normally how we see the world through our beliefs and our past experiences and uh, one side is water like you said very flexible and the other side is hard rock. So this is a great pointer actually to everyone here. I actually quickly wanted to take a moment before I forget because if I mean I'm sure our audience is getting tremendous value and if they want to get in touch with our guest here, uh, they can go to his Facebook profile, uh, Suren Arora. Uh, his website is surenarora.com, very important. And you can get his coaching and his perspective, everything on this website. So yeah, I mean, this is this is really amazing. And what you mentioned, some of the takeaways that I have found so far is obviously being non-judgmental, um, because we cannot judge something that is changing every single second. And to connect with somebody, we have to be like water. We have to forget about who we are, forget about who they are, and try to connect with them. And there are some things outside our control, and there are some things inside our control. And yeah, I mean, this is. I just wanted to ask: is there, say, if somebody in our audience um, is having trouble, say, for example, maybe he has a he's going through depression, or maybe his energy is vibrating at a low frequency, or any of those situations, or maybe he's just always seems to have bad luck, for example. What's a message you would like to leave for somebody like that?
So the first message is that there is no journal message. There is no standard message, like because if I give a standard message, that will be more like an advertisement, right? Another thing that we need to understand is you mentioned the word troubles, right? There are other people who use the word problems. My word is challenges. There is nothing like trouble. There is nothing like problem. It's just that once you, if you don't have an answer, if you don't have your way out, you understand it is a problem. No, it is not a problem. It is a challenge. The moment you say it is a problem, you become burdened. It becomes stronger than you. If you take it as a challenge, you are on the same ground. Now you are ready to face it. Right? So there is nothing like, because you don't understand how to handle it, it is a problem. Otherwise, it is a challenge. The moment you master it, or the moment you get over it, it will not be a problem or a even challenge. Then it will be a fun. You will be playing with it.
Definitely. There are so many uh, challenges that I thought were very big a few years ago, but now looking back, I laugh at them. And
Yeah,
I'm sure everybody's gone through this.
another thing is, most of the times, most of the people are either underestimating themselves or overestimating themselves. We are so, like you mentioned about problems or challenges or whatever we may say. Most of the times, we are not dealing with problems. We are dealing with our fears or our doubts or our inhibitions. So that comes our way. So we have to understand, why am I behaving the way I am behaving, and what can I do about it? Now, this is not something that everybody can manage themselves. That is why you need a professional. You need to go to a professional who can tell you what is happening and how to change it. But the bottom line is, you are no different than me. The only difference that is that your area of expertise is different and my area of expertise is different, because you spend more hours in some other area and I spend more hours in some other area. Otherwise, we all are same.
Powerful. I like it. Well, that's all time we have for our audience today. Make sure to reach out to Suren on Facebook or his website if you want more, and I would highly recommend you to do that. And thank you so much to everyone. And I hope all of you have an amazing Thursday, an amazing Eid, and an amazing Canada Day long weekend. And for folks in US, have a great uh,
Yeah.
celebration as well. So thank you so
All right.
much.
Thank you.